Forgive me, guys. I am getting in here real quick. So it's right here. Put that. I can go right here. My bench is a mess. I will clean it up before I start. Just give me a second. Ah, sweet. That's cool. That one. Take this one. All right. Almost had it. Slide that over. YouTube is so picky. Really? Jeez. Okay. Well, whatever. I'm gonna pull this right here. I can get a hold of this one. Go away. I don't want it full screen. Sorry, I'm trying to check out your guys' comments and get where I can read what you guys have to say. But oh, get off of that. Escape. Escape. All right, now I'm on YouTube chat, on Facebook chat. I got to clean up my bench. I've got to check on my orders, see where I'm at. I will be zooming in real quick. My bench looks like crap because I'm busy trying to keep up. Forgive me for the guys that are used to my bench being perfect and not needing anything and blah blah blah. Uh, I'll never claim to be perfect. I will not be perfect. And it's got a literal wreck in my shop right now. So I will be cleaning up a little bit of it as we go, but I'll do the best I can to make this a seamless video for you guys. If I can help it, at least. I'll pop in here and say, okay. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitch. You guys are doing well. Anybody needs anything? BUNsRFsupply.com. You guys can message me here on Facebook or on YouTube if you want. It don't hurt my feelings none. I'll respond to you. I appreciate the guys who have ordered. I got quite a few orders in right now. So, expect my lead times to go up a smidge. Nothing crazy. But, I just have to go up just a little bit to be able to make sure that I'm accurate in my quotes. So far I'm accurate on everybody. There is one quote that's a little over quote, I think, or close to it at least. But that's because freaking customs is holding up my parts. So I can't do anything about customs. I'm sorry. That's how that sometimes it messes you up. I'm just cleaning off the bench just a little bit before I get to work. It's not perfect by any means. This is not the time to get a phone call. Hey, I'm live. Let me call you back. All right. Love you. Bye. All right. Y'all can hear me just fine. Let's go ahead and get to work. So I'm going to finish this, which not this one. I've got a couple of these to do later. This is going to be later today. I'll do this one later today. I'll do this one later today. Did I just finish that one? No, I didn't. Okay. I'm going to finish a little piece of Rg400. Then we're going to go ahead and go back into the half inch and the half inch plate. I'm just going to do the 400 just because it's here and I want to get it done. And I got to get myself out of work mode or out of scramble mode and into actual work mode. So I made several orders before I got on here. I had to ship out another package before I got on here. There's several things that just held me up and made it take longer. But we got some parts. We got some things to make happen. I got to find a knife. There it is. Let's zoom out so you guys can see. 301 waving a hand. Hope you're doing well, man. Um, I don't know if my YouTube is right now. I hope it is. But I guess only time will tell. It pulled me out of one of my categories. I thought at least. And then, I never clicked it back to go into that category. So I don't know if it's categorized wrong or if it's going to work perfect. We'll see, I guess. You are useless. I say that's useless. It's good for a lot of stuff. This is good for 40 megahertz to 4 gigahertz. So it's good for a lot. It's not good for lower HF, which is what a lot of these guys like to play around on. So I can't do some of the testing I'd like to do on that. Ooh, I could test something else out though. So I usually don't get a good grip with my dikes. I usually will be grabbing my, this set right here, my stripper set, because it's a good grip on this low friction coefficient wire. Let's pull you guys in a little closer. Waving a hand, Elias. Hope you're doing well. I am building some Rg400 right now. I'll be building some half-inch flex and some half-inch hardline soon. It's the type of coaxial cable. If you guys would like to know more about it, I can explain more in depth. But yeah, this is mainly used in aerospace and aeronautics. It can also be used in just your regular communications fields. All right. What I'm doing now is picking the shield back and getting this thing wired up. It's really hard for me just to jump straight into some of this wiring. So that's why I jumped into something that's simple and easy for me to do while I'm not thinking. Because my brain's still trying to figure out and make sure that yeah, doing well, 301. Hope you're doing well, man, too, for sure. Appreciate you. Um, but, trying to make sure I'm getting everything accomplished. I just took on a lot more work. Nothing crazy, just a decent sized build that's going to take me a while to do. And trying to make sure that I have all the parts that I'm going to need for that. I also had another thing, some small parts go out that I didn't reorder. So I'll need to do a reorder super soon. I don't know if I was smart enough to, transfer enough money to do that. I might have to transfer more money tomorrow and do that. But it's just regular restock and managing of inventory as I go. I got a lot of small stuff I sell on the website. I do not have it all listed, not even remotely all of it. But every once in a while, guys will grab some of it, and I'll have to restock it. So it's just me doing that. I am an RF supply company, so that's kind of the name of the game. So I don't mind that stuff at all. I appreciate you guys' business. Thank you very much for ordering. Thank you very much for the trust. All right. And then, of course, for the big harness guys, I appreciate you guys too. But I don't care if you're buying something tiny from me, just coax wire itself from me, or if you're buying whole entire completed harnesses from me. I appreciate all of you just the same. There's not I don't prefer it one way or the other. That's the cool thing about being a supply company. I can do whatever. Now, I am a little bit more advanced than just a supply company. I'm not like this dude, like, yeah, I can find your plumbing supplies on aisle 5. That's not what I mean. Uh, I can kind of help direct. I guess it would be more like RF supply and consulting, maybe. I'm not really sure what would be the proper terminology for what I do. But, if it has to do with RF, then I generally will have something to do with it for the most part. Let me grab some water for my sponge. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. So wetting a sponge is one way to keep your soldering iron clean. the tip of the iron. There's a little bit of trash on the end of that, so just clean that booger up. And there we go. I'm going to zoom in to the end of this coax real quick, pull this thing down just a little bit, and let you guys see how this soldering works. So, when you solder, one of the most important things to understand is it's not about just melting some solder. The most important thing you're trying to do is try to maintain the proper amount of heat and then trying to add solder to the source. So I'm typically not adding solder to the end of the iron itself. Now, when I'm in a limited space like I'm in right now, yeah, sure, that's bound to happen. It can still wick down to the source. But the main concept is you're adding solder to the piece, not to the actual tip of the iron. Now, it is good to wet the end of your iron with some solder, because otherwise it wouldn't be quite as clean, because the rosin core does clean the end of your iron pretty well. It was a good job. This iron, I've used it for quite some time. Yeah, just a little bit of residual solder on there, but it's fairly clean. Let's add a little bit more just because I want to. It drives me nuts. So when you see that little bit of dip on the bottom of the solder, it doesn't have to be fixed. But me personally, I just add a little bit more just because probably my own OCD. It's fine. That's good enough. I won't get much more particular than that. I could, but you just don't want anything on the back side, back here. That will be hot if you don't watch what you're doing. Got my fingers there, but that's how she looks. But now, go ahead and solder the end. Or excuse me, the shield. So if YouTube or Facebook's got any questions, you guys feel free to hop in there. If you guys just want to hang out and say what's up, feel free to hop in and say something. I'd like to respond to you. If you got questions, feel free to hop in and ask. That's another area that I really encourage. A lot of guys, they don't realize when I'm doing these videos that I actually want you guys to say something back. They think they got to shut up and sit back and just listen. That's not what these videos are about. They're informative. I could build this coax without you guys being here, but I can't speak with you guys without you guys being here. That's one thing I can't do. So I do try to respond and let you guys know, tell you guys about stuff, let you guys understand it a little bit better. So I don't know what you guys don't know unless you tell me. So you can see it wick in to the joint. I'll show you guys on this one and I'll move the angle a little bit. So I'm going to put the iron in the hole. I'm going to have it on the shield itself. And then I'm kind of adding the solder to the iron a little bit. But if I was at a different angle, I would be hitting the piece itself. It's not super critical which one you hit, but it definitely is critical. The heat that you apply and how, like the fact that you keep constant heat on there. You want it to wick into the shield. See how it doesn't look like it's, see if it's a better angle. See how it doesn't, you still see the braid in the double braided, silver plated copper. And then we just wicked all the way out to the end. Or that little upward flick where I threw some solder up there. I'm not proud of that, but one way or the other. I'm kind of picky, so that irritates me. But that functionally will make no difference on your performance, just so you know. Trying to pay attention to you guys, but I'll grab some bigger coax here in just a second whenever I finish up the last bit of this, and we'll move forward. Got to do the back side right here. You can just see it wick on into that joint all the way until it comes up flush. And that's good enough. So you see how it bonds all the way around. All these look slightly different, but that doesn't really matter as long as we don't have any real like inclusion where it's actually the solder has not bonded all the way around. And that is not the case on any of those holes. That's cleaned up. This one's good to go. This one will get shipped out today. I've got another group of wires that I've got to finish after this. As far as these wires up here, they will not be going out the door today, but they will be our finishing project. Set that over there. Actually, no, I've created a dedicated shipping section, so I'm going to put this in the shipping section. Um, I say it's dedicated. It's really just my desk that I got, my old table that I got cleared off. What do y'all want to see first? You want to see half-inch hardline or half-inch flex? If y'all don't speak first, then I will just work on whichever one that suits my fancy. I'm gonna grab two connectors real quick. I'll throw one of the harnesses up here. This is the half-inch flex here. This is what one of the connectors looks like right there. That's the 7/16 DIN connector. That's what that wire looks like right there. Waving a hand, 22 Junior. Hope you're doing well. Mud Duck 22. All right. Now let's get some DIN. So I've got this one. That's one connector. And then now I've got another DIN for that one. Where is it at? You know, I might actually be running low on these. I probably should get some more. Oh no, I figured out they were in like short boxes, not the long box I got over here. That's a long box, but I need a short boxes. There's one right there. There's plenty of them. Okay, I just found them all. Just sitting over here in another area in no man's land. That's how it works sometimes. So, flex. All right, we voted for flex. Are we got any YouTube votes? Waving a hand. D man, hope you're doing well. Mr. 312 D man. This is our half-inch flex. This is our half-inch hardline. We will do flex because flex was requested. So let me grab the end of this tail right here and I'll put that together. Let me zoom out real quick. So something like this I think is going to be a good camera angle, but we will modify it here shortly. Cool thing about flex that I like pretty good is it is flexible. I can do a lot of stuff with it. So I can pull it out, I can wiggle it, I can move it around. I can actually run it around into a small hole or small bend and do whatever I need with it. So it's very, actually very flexible for what it is. Super great. Let's see what kind of zoom I want to get in on this. Turn you guys that way. Something like that, maybe. Don't look at the mess. I'll clean it up later. I got too much work to do. Don't look. I'm gonna throw this to heat shrink too. It don't matter. There's my scissors I was looking for. Get out of there. This is my kind of like an O-ring, but not quite the same. It's helical. I guess. I'm not really sure what you'd call it. Let's zoom in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Pull down here. Something like that. Nah, I think that's too much zoom. I want to show you these things, but I can't do it without actually doing the work. All right. It's over in my corner, so you can make me some zippers. Copy's over in your corner. All right. So throw some parts on, get some work done. Yeah, I do all kinds of jumpers. I did Rg400 jumpers. I got 393. I've made some jumpers in a half-inch flex before, but it's not typical. So that's what we're going for. Stop this burger about a little bit. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna cover screen. I'm just gonna put it raw. Lowest point actually is what I'm gonna do. Here, I think I should. I always want to zoom it, so I think this is pretty decent. Just a little bit zoom. And then turn a little bit that way. That'll be fine, I think. Copy that. So, I don't know if this is smart or not with this level of zoom because I get to wiggling and moving, and every time I do that, I'm out of the shot, and then you guys are mad at, not really mad at me, but you guys are leaving because you can't see nothing. So, what I'm doing is knocking out a little bitty tail over here. Ouch. Pulled my own beard here. All right. Let's go ahead and cut the rest of this back. Let's reference just because might as well. So the millimeter I cut from the center conductor is around 7 mil for this particular coax, for this particular end, for this particular setup. So, let's wait. Let's making sure I wasn't going too far. That's what I thought. I was getting too overzealous with my thoughts there. So now I need a razor. I've done this a few times. If you guys haven't noticed, uh, I also lose parts a few times too. Sorry, I get my big mug in the way. So from there, this is a helical pattern, so I can kind of just twist her off. So I could just cut that jacket, which I've done several times before, but I wanted to kind of show you guys that it could just be threaded off just like that. From here, I'm going to take any sort of lubricant you have. I'll use the lubricants right here just because sitting here, I have a bunch of other tubes just sitting around here. Um, but I use this one since you guys saw me pull it out of the box. No, I'm using it. So you just want to coat this material real quick as well as you can. And then want to line it up. Make sure I'm not gonna catch anything. And then just use to pull it straight down rather than rotate on a sharp axis. It keeps me from having to worry about if there's a sharp edge on here chopping my wire. So the spiral pattern that's on here, the helix on here, I just need to make sure it hasn't been smashed, and it has not, and we are good to go. So from here, I can take some of that other material that's still in my hand, that lubricant, or that grease compound for the O-rings. I'd like to say it's dielectric grease, but to be honest, I have not looked it up. I would assume that it most likely is. Let me see what they call it on here. What do they call it? Add grease and clamping nut. So they just call it grease. They don't say what it is. Now, don't get overzealous. I have done that a few times, made my mistake, and got this bigger way, like broke it, whenever I was working with it. And it's got what I need. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. So now I'm going to cut this back with a knife. I could have cut it back earlier, but it doesn't matter one way or the other. As long as it eventually gets cut, that's all that matters. The next break we're going to is going to be New Orleans. I'll be headed there. New Orleans is coming up on the, what is it, 17th and 18th. So I think that's the dates. I'll look up my calendar and see if I can get it pulled up real quick. Yeah, it will be not the 17th and 18th of March, but it's going to be next month. So the next event is going to be, yeah, the 17th through the 20th. I'm going the 18th and the 19th is what I'm going. The 20th I'll be flying back. But that's going to be in New Orleans. That is a fun event. A lot of guys make it there every year. There should be a few keyers for sure preparing and getting ready for that event. So, and I already know of several now. So it's gonna be good. I don't know how good, but I know it's gonna be good. All right, so now I have to hold this still because of what tells me in the paperwork. I gotta push that down just a little bit more so it starts biting like that, and then doing what I can to stay in the shop. There we go. And now your job is simple. Of course, I've got to put my heat shrink on, but let me show you this. This is the part that hurts everybody's feelings. Do your best to pull this off. If you don't try that, what is that? I don't know what this is. Go away. There we go. All right. So do your best to try to pull this off. Try to pull it up. If you can, then it wasn't put on there well enough. If you can't, then you're good to go. So now let's go ahead and put some heat shrink on this, and then let's do the 1/2 inch hardline next. All right, that's all done. It's all ready and prepped and ready to go. So this harness will get shipped out. Um, Probably, yeah, it'll get shipped out today. I'll put this on the shipping table. So might as well do that. That harness is getting shipped. I've of course done plenty of other work to it. It's not like this was a 1 day process. It's not just one end and send it out the door. I'd already finished some other work on it. Clean up some trash. And now zoom out real quick. I'm gonna show you guys that I have to deal a little bit harder with a 1/2 inch hardline. It's not quite as easy to deal with. Let's see if I can. I don't know. Something like that, probably. Oh, where's my? It's gonna be right over. Oh, there it is. I see it now. So now let's pull this out. Same thing with 1/2 inch hard lines, but you can't be as picky with it. You can definitely bend it or move it. Let me show you guys. So you can definitely bend 1/2 inch hard line and move it somewhat like that, but it's not like super flexible. You can't spin it on itself. It's not designed for that. It's designed to have low attenuation for its given size, the lowest attenuation for its given size, and it's supposed to transfer as much power as it can for its given size. So it does both those things pretty well. So I don't have a whole lot of complaints with it. Again, this is a whole different type of end, a whole different way to put this together. So I'll show you guys how this one goes. I still got some work to do on a 7/8 harness, but it's driving me nuts because I got a part that's coming in out of Canada and it's been taking forever. Luckily, I don't have any issues with it coming. It's already past customs, but man, that was a bit longer than I expected to wait, and it's still not even here yet. But that was my mistake, unfortunately. We're expecting it to get here fast or whatever. All right. Hello, hello, Facebook. Hope you guys are doing well. All the guys are checking us out. Suppose I'll explain a little bit more over here. Total length, this one wants you to cut. Please take this with a grain of salt. Do not think that you can do this on every single wire. Uh, there's guys that'll grab random connectors. Oh, this is a DIN connector. The one had a DIN connector. Let me just go ahead and do this one that way. Um, First things first, I am looking for, how far to cut this back. I gotta find my top edge, and it's pretty dang close to there. I like that. So we'll chop that first before anything else. See if I can get a blade wide enough on this to chop and do what I need to do. I think nope, I don't think I'm zoomed in close enough, far enough back. So sorry, YouTube and Facebook. Give me just a second and I'll zoom in even closer. Or zoom out even further, excuse me. Said zoom in even closer. All right. So now, like that. Almost. I'll tidy that up later. Let's zoom. Well, I should be pretty good with this, but sometimes just moving this big wire around is just hard. All right, so let's cut my jacket back where I need. So we need the edge of here. That's fine. Oh, let's do this. Let's see how this works. I haven't done this for a minute. I was trying to do something random with that piece that I just cut. This probably won't work, but we're gonna do it anyway, just because I want to. And it's my business, and I can do it however I want. I typically wouldn't do this on a smaller wire like this. I want to see if I can clean it up. Because what I just cut it with didn't make it look super pretty. This is a weird thing. No, I'm sorry. I'll tell you, this is difficult. Weird cut. Alright. That worked out. Looking great. Okay. That's wonderful. So now the fact that at the end is squished, I don't really care about that. See, it's small and looks slightly distorted. That doesn't matter at all. Not for what I'm doing. So edge and high edge. Nice. That's what I wanted. Now we'll go ahead and cut back from here. So I would probably suggest the same idea that I'm doing on the 7/8. Just use a pipe cutter. Maybe a smaller pipe cutter with a little bit less tension, and maybe a sharper blade might be better than this. I don't know. I haven't tried. Do it at your own risk. So I'm going to scoot this to the left. I think that'll put me in a better shot. Get a little aggressive there. Chill out. There we go. Cut it back. Do I want to cut this yet? Not specifically. I think try this. This is a bad idea. I think I might end up cutting this in just a second. But I'm gonna try. I like trying this stuff. I think I have tried it similar to this before, but I just got to be careful how I do it. This is not for the guys that don't know what they're doing. You got to do just make sure you don't put too much tension in it. Make sure you don't go too deep. Make sure you stay straight around the edges. Nope, too much. What's it? Right there. I just got to make sure whenever I'm cutting, not digging too deep into the shield. See if I was successful. Maybe, maybe not. It's close. Still got a little bit more to cut. This is actually working out, I think, pretty well. If you had a straighter piece to cut with, like that didn't have this beveled edge, it might be better than this. I don't know. Missed a spot. Yeah, I got some more to cut on the backside. I don't know how this is working, but I like it. It's working pretty well. All right, I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. Came off. This out. Pull this out. Not absolute best possible case scenario, but that's pretty dang good case right there. Let's see how that looks whenever I start doing my flange. This wire is large. It's really hard to cut it on screen, so please don't take offense if I'm not perfectly in the shot. I'll be back in the shot. Just Got the jacket back. Almost cut all the way through, but just that last little piece on the back side. There we go. O-ring, go ahead and get it ready. I've already put some lubricant on it, but I'll put some more. O-ring on. From there, the flange looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. I ain't got no complaints. Straighten out my wire. So it wants you to straighten out the last 10 foot or so of your wire. So I want to make sure it's pretty straight. Something like that. It's good. Wires here. Pull the dielectric material off. Now from there, we got a deburr. The way that I did this last cut, I definitely have to do a bigger deburr than normal. It's not doesn't look like a big deal at all so far. Looks like it's cleaning up pretty well all together. Anywhere else? What does that look like over there? Looks pretty solid. I'm liking it. So now from here, slide this body on over here, make sure the shield can clear. If the shield can't clear, I've got to reshape and fix it. Looking like I'll be all right, but I'm not 100% just yet. A little bit more to go. There we go. Now, from here, we want to go over top of our first corrugation. Right there. And we want to build our flange. The way I've done that on a few videos, which I'll zoom in on this one. To try to make it a little nicer of a video than what it currently is. We will work right here. And yeah, okay, cool. Audio's good. Everything's fine. Whatever. If you guys got any questions while I'm working, feel free to ask. We're just getting some wire knocked out. Unfortunately, I wasn't live yesterday. I had too much crap going on. It just happened. So I'm going to try to do well today and hopefully make up for yesterday. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. All you guys who check this stuff out later. You guys are cool with me. You guys got questions. I think Whiskey Man's done a really good job at actually talking later on. He hops in these lives and will make comments later on. The rest of you guys don't talk a whole lot, but I do appreciate it when y'all do. Land is built. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm building out this flare. Focused on the right shot. Maybe I'll pull it down like this and maybe it will change my focus. It's hard to say what the best shot is for this particular position. All right. Now, I already deburred, but I've got to make sure I line this up. So give me just 1 second. I'm not trying to hide this part from you guys, but it's just too hard to get it on there without having it set up. So all I'm doing is lining up this connection, trying not to get overzealous and start threads on crooked right here. So this one calls for the opposite of the other. So if you ever look at it on the back, it'll tell you to hold the front one still and rotate the rear one. So my job on this, hold this still right here. It's kind of hard because it doesn't have a lot of threads. And then tighten this one up. So it's backwards. I'm gonna have to bump you guys up. Like that. Should be good. Go. Now, I don't know what happened to YouTube. Sorry, guys. There we go. So now the goal is to try to pull this connector off. If I've made a mistake or screwed anything up, play this live, pull that to the end. Play. So the goal, try to pull it off. Don't try to wrench it off left and right. Don't try to wiggle it off and like that. Try to pull it straight off. If you can pull it straight off, then you didn't get it on there right to begin with. So that's the end of that one. It's all finished up and done from here. So now we're going to go ahead and move forward. Throw these away. Put this in the ship out section. Because it's got to be shipped also. I'm going to call the table because it's getting too full. Now we're going to work on some smaller stuff that doesn't require every bit of this bench. So I'll clean up a little bit of my stuff and then we'll get to work on that. That's what today's going to be. Copied to YouTube, went crazy and reloaded and got me back on the big screen. That's cool. All right. I'll be using this for the smaller wire, so let's go ahead and fill it up. These I won't be using for the smaller wire, so I'll put it up. I will use this. I will not be using this. Put it up. Just kind of clean it up somewhat after myself. These I will not be using on this. I'll be building. Oh man, I gotta apologize to that customer. Dang, I just realized I forgot about something. All right, so I'm not gonna be using this, so let's put it up. We'll just do a small zoom out. I can use the caliper, but I'm gonna put it up anyway, just so you guys can see what's going on. This is going up. It's just a label maker. It's nothing special. These are, I'll put that up there. I need this. I need this. I need this. These can go back here for now. Then I need a rag to clean up my mess. I need a pair of strippers to pull my jacket off. I need a pick to pull the shield back. I do not need this for anything, so I'm going to put it away. Put it on. I'm not going to be using this. I actually don't have a good spot to put that one, to be honest. Why don't I put it right here? I guess this would be fine. I will not be using that. I will not be. Why is that razor blade even out? This is my punch. I use that on some of my other stuff. I will not be using it on any of this. A lot of my pockets. Holy crap, this is bad over here. So I'll set it right there for now and cry about that section later. I'm not going to be using that. Go it with the other ones. Safety glasses can be put away. I even forgot about that section too. What even is it? I don't know. I took all my slugs out and forgot to put them back. No, it's just a fix for now. It's the wrong hole, but it don't matter. Just putting it away for now. So this, of course, is the test equipment on the bench. You see the VNA at the bottom. The VNA, I got to get literally right when I got it shipped, the daggone monitor messed up on it. So I got to get another monitor for that. There's really no reason to cut that on, but I just did just because it gives me another light and turns it on. All right. This is a split feed. This will get put away for now because I don't have it for any specific job at the moment. I have no clue even what that is. It'll just go back there for now. My little hand warmers. I'm about done with winter time. It's 77 degrees today, guys. I hope it's done with winter. I doubt that's the case, to be quite honest. That's my little tool that I use on my 7/8. I will be using it soon, but I'm not going to put it back away for now. And now you see this trash, this nastiness that gets built up on the bench. Unfortunately, it just happens. There's just, I don't know, dust and other bullcrap that you have to deal with. So in order for me to keep a tidy bench, I like to keep my stuff a bit cleaner than others if I can help it. When the bench is over and looks like junk, then it's a little bit of a morale sucker, to be honest. So I do like to take a couple minutes every great once in a while and clean up. If you guys don't get too mad at me, that is. I think I'm allowed to clean up just a little bit. So I've got a whole uh, whole section back over there for all the stuff. So set all this right here, move this right there. And now that I've got this, I got a new project coming super soon. But I'm still waiting on some parts, so you guys won't get to see that one till probably Thursday if all goes well. Let's shake this mat out and wipe it down a little bit. Now I do need to get some 409s and whatever, something, clean this stuff up a little better. But I'm out of Windex. I think I used the last of my Windex the other day, and when I did, it just kept my bench looking nasty. But now, this is how the bench I like it to look over here, and this is how it looks most of the time. So we're we're working on cleaning it up. I got a bunch of screws. I'll deal with that stuff later. That'll take me maybe 5 or 6 minutes to clean up this section over here. This is all 7/8 stuff. We'll be putting that away for now, and we'll pull it back out when it's time to work on some 7/8. And we're gonna zoom in nice and close. And that's gonna be out of sight, out of mind. You guys won't have to see this mess. So zoom, zoom, zoom. Right here, up and over, right and right here. I think it won't be completely out of sight, out of mind because it'll be over there. But I am not going to put that at the moment. Let's do some moving. That stuff can go over somewhere else. Move this out of my way anyway. Somewhere. Or that's so short. Deal with that later. Now, that'll work. Now I'll clean up the hole. Fill it up with this right here for now. What do we want to do? Do y'all want to see some 393? Do y'all want to see some Rg400? What would you guys like to see? I think 1, 2 of these is going to have to be done differently. So I need to pull this off right here and this off right here. I'm going to look up a ticket while you guys tell me what I should be doing on that. But 2 of those will be pulled off like this. And 1 of these will be pulled back right here. You know what? I don't think I did that prematurely. So I'm just looking at orders. So give me just a second. For all you guys that like to see it, if you say 400, then I'll be working on this. If you say 393, then I'll be working on this. Give me about 30 seconds to figure out if I just made a mistake with what I just did. And then I'll be back. So normal, normal, normal. All of those. I don't think he wanted me to quick disconnect any of those. Maybe he did on 1. That's already on the way. That's fine. Then I got normal, normal. That's fine. That one's special. That's fine. That one's done. That one's done. Okay. I need to look at a ticket real quick. What do you guys say? 400 or 393? Anybody saying anything? Oh, it's here while I'm waiting on you guys to actually type something. And then we will look at this guy's message real quick. It's the only thing that sucks sometimes whenever you're working on something. This, flexible, lag. Okay, so 1 of these is going to be a split feed. So that's going to be this one. This one right here is still going to have the connectors on it. So let me put this right here. This is going to be on here. This is going to be on here. I'll be doing a split feed probably. So these are 2 normals, 1 split feed. That's finished. Normal, normal. I wish I got the order, but I did not. So be it. I had a customer that was asking about something super unique, but they haven't paid for it yet. So I can't even build it, even though I want to build it. I want to literally, I don't want to stop what I'm doing, but I literally want to, showcase it and actually show that part of the build. I'd really like to show people. These are all extras. They will not be being used. I might as well just put them back up where they go. And all right, so we're going to do some 393 just simply because I feel like doing 393 and I've got to do it anyway and you guys can see how it works. 400 is cool, but 393 is different. So let's zoom out just a smidge so you guys can see what's going on. Trash. And then now we'll start grabbing tools. So move this 393 back. All these tools over here. Grab this extra solder here. I'll use it up just because. And now I've got to grab forward out. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. That's up there. There we go. I think I can zoom a little bit better than this. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube throws me off. I look at the YouTube and it just looks like it's so much further away. Facebook's pretty zoomed in, even though it's the same camera. That off. Got the pliers right here. And then since again, pliers might get this off if I squeeze tight enough and like just wreck the end of this thing. But if I use this, it's got some teeth. And it's a little bit of a softer material. I can bite into it and start pulling it. It's very, very cool what Teflon can do. It's some pretty neat material. But I will warn you, it's probably not the best idea to put it in your food. Let's just say that much. There is a reason and a purpose for a lot of materials. And some of the areas they've expanded some of these materials is probably not the smartest. There's a reason it's getting banned. But it's not banned in coax because you're not sticking coax in your mouth. A lot of really good properties. Now, I need to get my eyeballs in the way for a second. Thought I can zoom in on this part. Let's see. Zoom down here. All right. Nope. So I will need some dikes for this. I use my nicer dikes a lot of times because I cut a little bit more flush on material. I don't know. So these are pretty nice, but I got some other ones that I like a little bit better than these. Personally, I don't really see where they're at, so I'm not chasing it down. These are expensive enough. All right. So now I'm going to add some solder to this. Probably use the bigger amount of solder just because I can. There's a very specific reason I dropped this, not specifically for any other reason other than that thing got hot. There we go. Nice and pretty. Those last two pieces were more of a vanity soldering. Uh, the reason I did that was mainly just to make it look nice and smooth. It's also at the same time making sure that it doesn't have any like deep spots or anything like that where it's sucking in the solder and it's not wicked all the way through. So from here, I don't think I'm going to be able to use this big stuff unless I split it up. So let's just do that real quick. I'm going to cut it over the floor simply because I can, for one, and two, so that I don't have to deal with the rising core getting everywhere. So it's a super long single wire now. Could clean up a little bit of that extra rosin. So from here, we want to add heat. And when it wick that solder, then we know it's hot enough. So we're just using up the solder that I got left because there's no functional difference between it and the rest of the solder on my bench, except for that piece that's trying to fall. So I'm trying to cheat a little bit. I want it to stay hot, but I also want to locally cool it down just a smidge, maybe 50 or 60 degrees. And just that little bit of blowing on it with breath will cool off the local area a bit. Now we're on to new solder. Grab it. Let's start filling up this on. Next, and one more. And then we'll be done with this piece of Rg393 and we'll be on to the next piece. Rg400 is coming up next. We gotta clean up our mess on this piece of 393. That's what she looks like. Right there. Now I cut this is another reason to have the dikes out that I forgot about. Gotta cut my zip tie loose. Right on everything else. There we go. Piece of 393 is done. We'll move on to some Rg400 and this part finished up. You guys are not super questionable today. Hey, waving a hand, 1137. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, it's getting quiet in here. These folks are hanging out. They ain't got me talking about nothing. Hope you're doing well, man. Again, hello, Facebook, hello, YouTube. Everybody's news coming in. I do sometimes assume that some of you guys are the same guys that popped in to begin with, and I know that's not the case. So for the guys that don't know what they're looking at, this is Rg400. I'm doing what's called a UHF connector or a PL259 on it. It's a very common connector for most frequencies of use. I also did some some DIN connectors earlier, and I have some in connectors over here to my right. That's what some of you guys may be or may not be familiar with, depending on what field you're studying, what you're learning about. Any questions? What you guys want to know? What do y'all want to talk about? We'll talk about whatever. Comes to RF theory, we'll talk about that. If it comes to what I'm doing right now, we'll talk about that. If you guys just want to sit and watch, then feel free just to sit back and hang out. This is not really a pressure game to get you guys to speak. It's more of a I'm bored and I'd like to talk about something. I do this build stuff all the time. It's not really too much difficulty for me. So Gotta be careful of what I'm doing while I'm working because I can get overzealous and cut into the jacket if I'm not careful. Let's zoom in a little closer. Might as well. If you guys are enjoying that. YouTube is way behind right now on my end because I pulled it back so far. Wish it would pull up. So as long as I click on this thing, I still have to push play. Oh, and I appreciate all you guys subscribing on YouTube. It's I don't really ask for that, but it's absolutely appreciated because it means y'all like my content. So for the guys that are checking these videos out and you like it, and you think it's pretty cool and something you want to see some more of, then feel free to click a subscribe or click a follow on Facebook. I got a bunch of you guys on Facebook already, but I do think I think it's depends on which video that I'm doing. It's about 70% of you don't follow me. Uh, if it's, if it's a unique video, if it's like a common video, like some of the stuff that I'm doing, it's still about 15% of you don't follow. So if you guys like it, feel free to follow it so you can see it more often. Same thing with the YouTubers. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoy it. I only had like, I don't know. There was only a few of you guys on YouTube for a long time, but because I never really did anything with it, I just posted some videos and just let it do it on its own. And even now, I still do it on its own. I very rarely ask for anybody to subscribe or anything like that, or follow me on Facebook or any of that stuff. Uh, but I don't know. It's always nice whenever I see you guys do it, especially if you're this far in the video. I guarantee you, there's a reason you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you don't hate me for watch a video for a long, long time and still hate me for some crazy reason. Well, ain't that something? My Bluetooth's trying to die. Sure. Off the wall questions are appreciated. Let me get over there and read it real quick. 1137. Give me just a second. Let me finish these I got this heated up. It says preheated in the right temperature. So whenever it's preheated, instead of having to reheat it all over again, I try to Get the rest of these finished all in one go. Might mess up my audio in just a minute. I don't know how it's going to sound whenever I do, but I'm going to throw one of these Bluetooths on the charger and see if I can talk with one of them. If it ruins the audio, then so be it. I'll make another video. I'll hop back in on that one after it's charged. But let's get this question real quick. Give me just a second. I'm 37 and I'll repeat it back so people can actually see it. If I got some YouTubers that won't be able to see what you said on Facebook over there. All right, off the wall question. Let's read it. When adjusting SWRs on an antenna, should you do it with the amplifier on? I always do. Just wondering your opinion on the subject. Okay, there is a lot to be said with that. It depends on the type of equipment that you're testing with. Let's say, all right, this is done. Let's get another one done. I suppose we'll do another piece of 393. Let's just get that one done. But we'll answer this question real quick. Let me give me a brief reprieve anyway. Let's say you got an analyzer like this, right? This can go all at the 7/16 DIN end. I can do all kinds of stuff. I can check SWR. I can go on a setting and actually check multiple different pieces of information. I can check parallel reactance. I can check normal reactance. I can check the phase angle. I can check the return loss. I can check the impedance or anything like that. I'm not showing that centered, but whatever. So if you have a piece of equipment, it can get you in depth and deep enough into certain readings, and you have pieces of equipment in line that are not going to trick your equipment, and you don't have counterpoise problems, then yes, I would absolutely just tune the antenna and be done with it. But there's not really such a thing as a situation where you don't have common mode current. There's always some present. So there's always some degree of inaccuracy. So doing a final test with this fancy dancy little bird meter, and if you get this big super fancy one right here that says reflected average right there, or you get this simpler bird meter right here that just turns the meter and reflect the opposite direction of where you actually going, and then trying to keep that number as low as possible. You can also do that, or you can get handy dandy fancy 10 watt to 10,000 watt bird meter, all kinds of stuff, a bunch of different choices. Or you can get this full right here, this VNA right here, and run and sweep the whole system a lot more accurately too. So there's a lot of choices that you can go at, but the main thing is if you have reactance in the system, then just go ahead and use a bird meter at the end, and then do your final tune out for that. But you will get extremely close when you tune it with an analyzer. Let's just say it that way. I've tuned out ridiculously large setups with an analyzer and did not go back and tune with the equipment in line. Let's just say that. That's how accurate you can be. Probably out of the shop for that, but I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just too hard to turn this coax around like that. Three. Hopefully that answers your question, like you'd like me to, on your how to check SWR and under what conditions you should be checking. Now, from here, I'll finish up on this feature call. Could twist that, but I'm not gonna, because I don't have to. So back to the off. A little bit of crap right here. Now, I'll make sure the paper stays centered. 11:37, if that answered your question, feel free to let me know. If it did not, then feel free to ask a little bit more detail on how I can help you a little bit further. I did kind of assume that I had it all answered properly, so forgive me for assuming that it was right without actually checking with you. Okay. Now have to have this perfectly straight up and down, but awesome, perfect. Yes, it did. And thanks. Yes, I should have specified I was meaning for someone with just a meter and not an analyzer. I'll tune in instead of power on for lowest SWR and just an inline meter such as PD 700, 700. So now, just to be fair, the PD 7000, I cannot vouch for the accuracy of a meter like that. So just to be fair, I don't know for sure if that's going to get you everything you need. But let's finish the rest of what you just said. Just something my locals and I talk about from time to time, and I always recommend doing so with power on. So if you don't have a piece of test equipment that can actually check everything you need, I would definitely recommend if you're doing a lot of tuning to get an analyzer. If you're not doing a lot of tuning and you just simply want to see what your SWR is, by far your most accurate option is one, keying with all your power on and then getting a 50 watt or smaller bird slug and getting a bird meter. You do not have to go as far as getting the big $1,500 meter over here, the $650 meter over here. If you just get this meter and a 50 watt or smaller slug, probably could. The reason I say 50 watt is just something simple you could use if you want serious accuracy. You can go down to like a 10 watt slug, or go even smaller than that if you wanted to. Make a 5 watt slug, but get a small slug. Put it. I intend on seeing this is coming back to my box. Turn it that direction, coming back to the box, and you want it to show the lowest number possible as you're tuning. That is absolutely going to be your best way to make sure you're the most accurate readings possible. And it's going to be a lot more accurate than a lot of other things. If anything, it'll be more accurate than even a lot of analyzers. So it's pretty nice. But that's absolutely recommendation. It's a very simple way of getting a good SWR. And then later on, if you want to add slugs to it, you could. That that meter is about $350 and the slug is like $140. So it's a little bit more expensive than what your PDC 7000 or whatever you said was. I know the dosies are around $260, so technically around 2 dosimeters worth of money, but it will pay back dividends on what it actually gets you for your end results. So definitely recommend it over that. And I wouldn't say inherently that the dosimeter, the bird meter is inherently more accurate, but it is plus or minus 5% on average, uh, on the average scale. And you're talking about plus or minus 5% of full scale. So if you're saying plus or minus 5% of a 5 watt scale, then you got a pretty small number there. That the amount of wattage coming back, uh, even for that, even if it was 95% of that original measurement, it doesn't matter. That's literally a great position to be at. So the tighter you go, of course, the better off you'll be. So times 0.05 would be 0.25, be a quarter watt, would be your fluctuation. So you would have a quarter watt of difference, in your, full scale accuracy. And then of course you would have half a watt on a 10 watt slug. So that kind of accuracy, if you have equipment or power to run, then absolutely it will definitely be, very, very accurate. To give you an idea, 1.0 to 1.5 is an excellent SWR. 1.0 is absolutely perfect. The difference in a 1. The amount of power you have returning at a 1.5 is about 3%. So let's say we had, say we're on HF and we have 1500 watts legal limit, whatever you want to call it. So 1500 watts, and that's technically peak, but whatever. We'll say it's average for argument's sake, but whatever. And say we have 3% of that. We can have up to 45 watts coming back. So definitely keep that in mind when you're buying small slugs. You don't want to get too small, and get focused on some crazy low SWR that's really, really hard to achieve. So I did get a little overzealous. I need to add some more heat for this. My Bluetooth's about to die, so I'm gonna pull this off the ear, and I want to see if I can get some feedback from you guys real quick. Give me just a second. Put this thing on the charge. So one Bluetooth is now out of my ear. Only the right Bluetooth. Let me know if this is sounding okay or if the audio just went to absolute crap. Um, I would like a response on that part. That's definitely something I would really appreciate feedback on. I don't care if you guys talk about anything else, but please tell me if my audio sounds like crap. Oh, stuff there. I don't know what this full spoon is on YouTube, but man, that's annoying. Very end. Fish play. Waving a hand from Carlton, Georgia. Hope you're doing well, Night Owl. How's the audio on this thing? I literally just killed one of my Bluetooths, so I don't know if it's going to sound okay. So I'm just trying this out, making sure it has not decreased in quality, from the past, however long I've been live. 11:37. Can you let me know if you're still hanging around? All right. Copy. Sounds good from there. Appreciate you, not all. Thank you, man. All right. We're doing the solder on the last hole on this piece of Rg393. I can zoom in if you guys would like me to. Sweet. Thank you, 11:37. I appreciate your response. I did not read it just yet, but I absolutely appreciate it because I know you've been hanging out and listening to me. I think you said you wear headphones most of the time you're listening. That'd be great to know. Yeah, that's frustrating. It's not. Okay. just a little ugly, so I just want to clean it up. Not that I have to, I just want to. Kind of my thing. A little bit more. Honestly, a little bit more. Okay. I was a little overzealous with heat, so now I got to go back and work on this. Nice. That looked good. All right, 1137 with you said audio sounds fine, and yep, two of my antennas are basically perfect SWR with 1.1 power cut span and 1.1. Looks good. All right, cool. Well, I mean, couldn't tell you much about the one that's all over the place unless I had more context, but for sure, that's great to know that the audio is working good. And yeah, copy there. Now, there's no such thing, just actually as a perfect 1.0. I'll need to show you guys one day how far it can actually go. But yeah, there is, of course, essentially perfect. But when we start going below 1% of power returned, then we really start getting into the, well, essentially perfect category. Two more of these to work on. I've got a bunch more wire coming in, and I think, I don't know, depends on what time it is and how long I've been on this live. I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, I got these cheapo weird headphones on right now, getting ready to order another good set of wireless ones, trying to figure out which ones I want to go with. I don't know about fidelity and sound and stuff, but these Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro or whatever the heck they are pretty sweet. I like them. It's just say they've got a really, that's the ones you've been liking the noise canceling on those other videos. Like so good at noise canceling, it's almost unnatural how quiet it is. Make you question you're actually hearing everything. Um, Now whether they're the best or not, I don't know. I do know they narrow my frequency response a bit, and that is unfortunate. I would like whenever I'm putting out audio on the air, but at the same time, I really don't care that much, especially when I can run a skill saw in the background and you guys can still hear me. That's pretty dang sweet. All right. I'm pretty far zoomed out right now. I don't really know why. I've got the camera so far back, but pull it in some. It probably is YouTube, I think. I bet you it's pretty big on you guys' screen. I don't know. Just seems kind of small at the angle that I'm looking at. Hello, hello, Facebook. Hello, hello, YouTube. Hope you guys are doing well. We're just doing some bunch of wire. Okay, let me talk about some events. This is a terrible time to talk about it. Maybe for the guys who watch a lot of them, then I'll catch them. But for the guys that have watched this long, you deserve to know about these events just as well as the guys who are just now showing up. So I'll talk about it on another live, probably immediately in the beginning of the live. But I just thought about it now, so I'll talk about it now. So the next events that's going to be coming up are going to be New Orleans. New Orleans is April, the end of April, or the middle of April, really. Um, April 17th to the 20th, I believe. And I'm going to be going the 18th and 19th. That's going to be in New Orleans. It's going to be a fun event. So, of course, a full key down. The next event after that is going to be the Low Country Mud Duck Break, and that's going to be a meet and greet and more of a like swap meet kind of thing. And that will be at the last week of April, I believe. I believe there's only one more week in April after that. Let me look at my calendar and pull that up real quick. Look it twice. Where's the calendar? Got that bigger. There it is. There's a calendar. Pull up April. Yes, it should be the weekend of the 24th through the 27th for the Mud Duck event. So, I paused YouTube for some dumb reason. All right. So that's the next event after that. The next event beyond that is, I think, sometime in June. I don't think there may be a end of the May event. I don't know how many other May events there's going to be this year. Um, Copies of Samsungs are great for sure. That's good to know for sure. I'm glad to hear it. I would really uh, like to know how badly it affects my fidelity. Actually, here we go. Oh, dang it, man! I want to do tests, and I can't do tests because I don't have my stuff. I'm being responsible, and I'm packing stuff the way I'm supposed to. I'm getting ready for New Orleans, and I packed my stuff away. And the microphone that I want to test with happens to be packed away right now, so that's unfortunate. Whatever. I'll run the test later. I will break it out before the before New Orleans, and we'll do a test on it quick. Mm. Oh, oh, I'm out of the shot. My bad. That's what I get for working on the side over there. Hmm. If you guys haven't seen what I've done, this is Rg400. This is a double shielded copper or silver plated copper braid with a silver plated copper center conductor. It has a Teflon dielectric and a FEP fluorinated ethylene propylene outer jacket. So got a very high dielectric strength because the Teflon, and it's got a very low friction coefficient because FEP, the fluorinated ethylene propylene. And then it's also got very high temperature that it can handle. So before melting, it would go over 500 degrees before it ever tries to fail. Still not in the right shot, so let me zoom back over here. Pull out of the shot just a smidge. That's what I get for moving. Or not. We're not zooming in too much because I don't have an X marks the spot right now. We'll do an X marks the spot later. I have several guys that's actually waiting on their orders. They're in line actually telling me they want to get some stuff but didn't quite get it yet. And then I've got a bunch of guys who's already placed orders. But if you guys would like anything, you guys feel free to message me, and I can always tell you my lead time, and you can decide if you want to do it or not. I think right now I'm probably trailing around 3 weeks. If today goes well, though, that 3 weeks may turn into 2 weeks again. Uh, I'm going to try to make today a good day as much as I'm as little as you guys are talking over here. You guys are making it hard. 1137's definitely made it a lot easier. Appreciate you, man. You guys used to hop in there and tell me your handles and tell me where you was out of. We even talked about the weather. 77 degrees today here. And I guess that's enough reason to talk about the dang weather today. Jeez. It was like 40 yesterday and it's 77 today. Mhm. So what I'm doing here is just bonding the center conductor, or the shield to the body of this connector. So it's all connected into one big chunk. This is the last one on this piece. We're soldering that lever in place, getting it all bonded in. All right. One more piece of 400. Boom. Okay. Not that I'm really that worried about it. It's not a big deal. Pull the camera in so I can actually try to see what's going on here. Right. Well, you can do it. You just got to grab that jacket, try to pull it off. Takes a bit more work than what your normal stuff will. Right here, it's just a pick. I'm being a little rushy. So you can't really. Anybody who's ever picked a braid out of somebody's head or something would know that you can't rush this, or else you're just going to break the strands themselves. You're doing what all the kids said. You'd have them squalling at you. Now, unfortunately, I did not get the experience as others had at pulling braids out. So I did not know that this was the best method for taking a double braided wire and getting the jacket pulled off of it. I was actually making fun of a fellow who had working for us at another place on him using a pick for this wire. And I might as well just give it a shot. Tried it. I'm like, yeah, it's a little easier. Not that much. Still kind of a pain. Uh, did it again. I'm like, yeah, that is a little easier. Tried it again. Even easier. And now I'll pretty much use the pick every time. Not that I have to, because I've picked it apart with my hand, but for you guys that have watched my videos in the past, have definitely seen me take a bit longer on my ends And that was what I was doing. I told you to take your time and make sure you're splitting it back and pulling it back as far as you're supposed to and all that other good stuff. And, just take your time with it on my lives. And now I'm using the pick, rushing it. Not really. But, now I'm using the pick and it works a lot faster. Doesn't give me the same problems. 6 or 9 footers. The wire is $3 a foot. The ends are Teflon ends. The coax connectors are $12.50 a piece. Labor on doing a small coax like this is $10 a piece. So just no, $10 per end. So you would figure it up this way. You would say $20 for basically your labor, uh, 25 for your ends. So it'd be $45 would be your base cost, and then whatever length of coax you chose. And that's the price for anything that I do in this size wire, in anything around 1/4 inch in size. When you go up to 3/8, the price increases slightly. We go up to $15 per end. When you go up to 1/2 inch, the stuff I worked on earlier, it's $20 per end in labor. And then you go up to 7/8, it's $30 per end in labor. And that's, pretty much the prices that I charge. My, my stuff is, it's not like a flat rate, but it's a pretty simple fee to figure out for the most part. But, this wire, again, is $3 a foot. 393 is $12 a foot. So it's going to cost you more money than this wire. But I don't charge any like additional fees for cutting a velocity factor or doing anything else like that. Um, at some point in time in the future, I may, but as of now, I do not. And I always use Teflon ends, and I always, I don't know, just do it well, to the best of my ability, at least. I think anybody in the world who says they're absolutely perfect and never make mistakes, they are mistaken and they will be humbled. Uh, but I try to make sure all those mistakes happen while they're here, and I take care of all my stuff. Now, to be fair, I did have a customer have a problem with an end that it's actually one of the first problems I've ever had, actually, with 393. Uh, one of the press fittings had failed, and it's mainly from install. It was something I had done, and I saw that, and I told him to ship it back, and I'll fix it. I'll pay him for his shipping. So I'll stand behind anything I do, especially even if I make a mistake. But I don't, luckily, typically make a lot of mistakes, because I've been doing this for so long. Just because you don't see me my RF supply go but beyond before 2020, does not mean that I haven't been doing this for a lot longer than that. Been soldering coax. Oh Lord, I don't know. Eight, five, uh, be about 16 years here, in a couple months. Not quite 2 decades, but well over a single decade for sure. But yeah, I guess if you wanted me to finish those numbers, it would be 10, 10, so it'd be 20. It'd be 25 for the connectors, 12.50 a piece. So it'd be 45, 45, and say if it was a 6 footer, 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 plus 45. So it'd be 45, 55, 55, $63 for, a 6 footer, and then $9 more for a 9 footer. Now, those are not lengths I'd specifically recommend, especially if you're mono banded. But what I would do is take a little bit more time and go into velocity factor. And again, like I said earlier, I don't charge to do that. So it's kind of worth the time spent, to be honest. That's the way I would do it. I'd do a velocity factor, if I were to cut one, if you can help it. Velocity factor jumper is $84. And then if you wanted to do an inverse impedance velocity cut, then I could do that. And that would be, what I say, $67, I think. All right. That is done. So I've got a lot more work to do. I've got more ends to put on right here. I've got this, and this, and then this over here. And then I've got some, I don't really have all the stuff I need to finish my 7/8. I'm showing you, I'm talking about this and this, and I don't even have it aimed up on there. But yeah, that's what it looks like right there. So I will be back. I'm gonna go check in on, the wife and the chitlins, and then I may, if all goes well, I'll be back this evening, and I will continue to do some more videos. We'll see if I can squeeze and make that happen. If I cannot, it will be Thursday, and it's still fine. I'll make it happen. But that's what I'll be working on, guys. Appreciate all y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to y'all soon. If you need anything or you want anything, feel free to check the website. The website's newensrfsupply.com. You can go to Velocity Factor Jumpers, and it will be price for cutting a velocity factor for whatever you like. You put in the notes what frequency you'd like it set for, and I can do that. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, y'all give me a shout, and I will talk to you hopefully later this evening. If not, it will be on Thursday. Appreciate y'all. See ya.